Hello, Alex here. Welcome back to the course. We're on day 5. Finally, we got to the point where we can start being creative and actually create some photos and videos. Let's start with understanding how iPad camera works. I'm gonna go and open the app called Camera. Photo is the standard mode that you'll see when you open the Camera app. You use this to take still photos and live photos or videos and much more. Your iPad camera automatically focuses the image and adjusts the exposure based on what you're pointing it towards. So tap with your finger on an object you want to focus. Let's take a closer look at all the settings of the photo mode. The panel on the left-hand side, right here, allows me to zoom in and out. Please remember that this is a digital zoom, so don't expect a decent quality from this feature. On the right-hand side, you'll find the rest of the settings. Let's explore them from the top to the bottom. The first icon is a feature called Live Photos. Live Photos is a camera feature that brings movement in your photos to life. So instead of freezing a moment in time with a still photo, a live photo captures a 3-second moving image. If it doesn't have a line through it, it means Live Photos is switched on. If the icon has a line through it, tap it to turn on the live photos. A live photo captures 3 seconds of movement and sound. 1.5 seconds of the live photo is captured before you press the shutter button, and 1.5 seconds is captured after. Therefore, ensure that you compose your shot and hold it there for a couple of seconds before you press the shutter button. If you don't do this, the first part of your live photos will be of you moving the camera to frame the shot. Likewise, your iPad will record for 1.5 seconds after you've pressed the shutter. So make sure you keep your iPad still for a couple of seconds after taking the shot. This feature is really great for shooting group photos and especially for scenes with children. Think of the problem when it's difficult to make everyone in the shot smile at the same time. So with live photos, you can edit your final photos and choose the best shot among several photos taken around that moment when you press the shutter button. There is a good chance you'll find one photograph where everyone smiles. The downside of the live photo feature is that if you keep using it all the time, your photo library will become very heavy because of the larger file size, and you'll run out of storage very soon. So consider turning this feature off and use it occasionally, only for situations when it's necessary. In order to make sure it's off by default, I'll go to my iPad settings. I'll find the camera app and go to Preserve Settings, and then I'll turn off the live photo option. Camera, Preserve Settings, and live photo off. It'll save me a lot of space. Let's go back to camera. The next icon is for self-timer. You can tap the timer icon and choose 3 seconds or 10 seconds as the time interval between when you press the camera button and when the picture is captured. You'll see a countdown on the screen leading up to that moment, and then the iPad will capture a burst of 10 images. You can keep all 10 photos, none, or a number in between. To turn off the self-timer, tap the off button. Couldn't be easier than that. Let's try 3 seconds, and I'll press the shutter button. There you go. The third icon swaps between front and rear cameras. The big white button, this one. The big white button is the shutter button. Tap the shutter button or press either volume button to take the photo. So I can press this one. Oh, my timer is on. I'm gonna go and switch off my self timer. And this is how. I can also use this button right here on top to take my photos. Next feature is called burst shots. Burst takes multiple high-speed photos so that you have a range of photos to choose from. You can take burst photos with the front and rear cameras. So basically what you do is just hold this. Yeah. So choose photo mode. We are currently in it. Touch and hold the shutter button to take rapid fire photos. The counter shows how many shots you took. Lift your finger to stop. To select the photos you want to keep, tap the burst thumbnail, then tap select. Gray dots below the thumbnails mark the suggested photos to keep. To delete the entire group of burst photos, tap the thumbnail, then tap the delete button. As you can see here, it shows 16 photos were taken. I'm gonna delete all 16 photos and I'm gonna go back to my camera mode. Under the shutter button, you'll find a preview icon, which basically shows you all content in the gallery. If you tap this icon, you'll get into the preview mode where you can see your latest photos and videos. If you want to open the Photos app, tap all photos in the top right corner. You can go back to your camera app by pressing the back button with the camera title in the top left corner. Finally, we came down to the camera modes. We can only see 3 of them, and the one in the middle is currently what we're using. Swipe the mode selector up or down to choose a different mode. Try doing this with me. Video. When you go to any video mode, the shutter button turns from white to red. Tap the shutter once to start recording, then tap it again to stop. If you want to edit the length of your video, tap Edit or the Edit button and move the slider to adjust the start and stop times. Tap Done to save your changes. We won't dive deep into all these camera features as it's way beyond the scope of this course.